teacher, and so she's doing like teacher prep, and so for a few months, she let us know that she's just not gonna be able to be here. But at the end of this process, she will be a teacher in the New Haven public school system, and that will be a great addition. So I just want everybody to know that. Okay, folks, so let's get started. We are starting a few minutes late, so welcome everybody. If you're online, please mute your mic if you're not talking. We're going to call the meeting to order and ask the secretary to call the roll of the board.
Okay, Lee.
Present.
Liz, absent. Gina. Here. Abby. Present. Adam.
Present.
And Christina, myself, I'm present.
Perfect. Okay. Is there anyone who's with us for the very first time here in the library? Everybody looks familiar to me. That's great. Is there anyone that is online with us for the very first time? Not a speaker, you'll have your turn, but someone from the community. If you are, would you please unmute yourself and just say hello to us? Seeing no one, hearing no one, we're gonna move along.
Hello.
Oh, who's this?
Lee, this is Nilda Ponte.
Hi, Nilda.
How you
How
doing?
are
It's not my first time, but it's
Been a
been a
while.
while. It's been a while.
Okay, well, good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Okay, so then let us go ahead now and ask everyone, let's put up the chat so that people see it. And if you haven't done so already, you can introduce yourself. If you're online, you can introduce yourself on the chat, and then it will come up on the side here, and it'll let just people know who's with us online. And all you need to put is your name and what street. You can put your house number if you want, totally voluntary. Okay, Mr. Vice Chair, do we have a quorum?
We in fact do already have quorum.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September meeting from someone here or up there?
I'll make a
Rob,
motion.
saw that. Who seconds?
Second.
Huh? Who said second? Okay, so Gina seconds, okay. I trust you all have had a chance to read them. We try to send them to you early. If you get them and you can't open them, just let us know. Someone did do that. We corrected it, I believe. Okay, all in favor of approval of the minutes signify by saying yes or raise your hand. Anyone, thank you. Anyone opposed? I see no opposition. Any abstentions? I see no abstentions. The minutes pass. Thank you very much. Okay. Approval of the minutes. Okay, we're gonna go right to the treasurer's report. We have Gina in the batter's box. Go ahead, Gina.
The September report, in August. Adam, can you put?
Yep, I'm pulling it up.
And also, can you scroll down, also to the bank statement when I finish with this page? The ending balance, $4,379.88. There were expenditures totaling $328.77, and that was due to $5.05 for the Zoom Spanish translation. And also the eligible voters approved the mural at the library for $300. However, there was a processing fee of $23.72, which brought a total of $328.77 for expenditures. There were no deposits, and that's receipt for the mural. And also, when Adam scrolls down further, every report includes the bank statement. So if my math is off, please let me know, but the bank statement is attached to every treasurer's report.
That concludes your report.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And we have established that these reports are accepted. They are not voted upon, but they are available for anyone to inspect at any time. If you have any questions, you can let us know.
Does Adam have anything to say about the Spanish translation?
I just want to say I have not yet received any feedback about it. Um, I don't know if it is helpful, good at all. I mean, it doesn't seem to have increased our kind of monolingual Spanish audience yet, but I do know that some Spanish speakers have been in the audience using it, seeing if it is any good even. So any feedback you have is wonderful. If not, maybe if it's terrible, maybe we start looking for other things. So.
Well, the number one thing that has to happen after getting it is that we all have to sort of put our collective heads together and think about who we know that is limited English speaking and their preferred language is Spanish. And we need to personally invite them. It might be a neighbor, it might be someone from our church or our union or where we work. If they live in Fairhaven or have a business here, if you personally invite them, and I would be happy if your Spanish is limited, I would be happy to go with anyone, make a phone call if you give me a phone number, and I will gladly speak to that person in Spanish and invite them personally. But I need to know who they are. So that's how we will really be able to know.
And also, I just want to add that, we can put them up in the meeting at the library as well, so that if you're sitting in the audience and people are talking in English, you can read it in Spanish. And if people are talking in Spanish, you can read it in English.
Can you do that, please? That would be a good thing. That way, if someone happens to come through.
You have to do that on your end, Lee.
Okay, so I don't know how to do that. I'm not gonna do it right now. We'll do it for the next one. Okay, so, because we don't, ¿hay alguien que habla español? No, yeah, okay, good. Okay, so next month we'll do that. Okay, we're gonna move right into Sergeant's report, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna take please come forward. I'm gonna take chair's prerogative and change the agenda order just a little bit, because I believe Malachi is on from Economic Development. Malachi, are you with us?
I don't see him in the chat room.
If he comes in, they're handling multiple meetings tonight. And so if he comes in, we're gonna let him go right after the sergeant and then just move LCI back because of the limited time they have. You might remember that they lost 2 staff people, the assistant director of economic development and one other staff person. So they're down there juggling a lot of stuff. So let's turn it over to the sergeant, and hopefully Malachi will be with us soon after that. Sergeant, please.
Good evening, everybody. Just some highlights, as far as some stats go, for the month of September, we have 785 calls for service for Fairhaven alone, 68 arrests, 2 people shot, 7 robberies, 2 assaults, aggravated assaults, 9 burglaries, 2 theft from autos, 13 motor vehicle thefts, 5 firearm discharge, and 15 rim and tire thefts, where they're leaving the cars on blocks in Fairhaven. That is a big uptick that we've seen. There's been a big uptick throughout New Haven, and not just Fairhaven, but Fairhaven is getting the worst of it. The burglaries were from Hamilton Street, John Murphy, in Chapel Street. The businesses there got hit, and the shots fired incidents has been going around on Del Rio in the island. There's been a group of kids, I say kids, but a group of people involved with that, where our investigative services unit is handling them. The robberies were all there was something more to it. It was not a random act of robbery. And as far as the 15 motor vehicles with their wheels and tires taken in the month of September, they're predominantly Honda Accords. And yeah, they're pretty much all Honda Accords, with the exception of a couple. And they range from 10 o'clock at night till 5 and 7 in the morning that we first encountered them. There was a car of interest, stolen car that was going around. We did recover it. We hoped that was going to quell the situation, and then the next day there was somebody else involved with it. So we're on it, we're working with it, and that's pretty much it. I do want to highlight an arrest yesterday with officers on Haven Street when they recovered a Glock firearm with a extended mag and a drum in it. There was an excess of 40+ rounds. I was glad to get that gun off the street. Other than that, I'll open it up for questions.
Okay, we've heard, the sergeant's report. Any questions here in the room? Rob and then Scott?
Yeah, sorry, I was
Rob?
just wondering, that vehicle there at the Mary Wade, were you able to get, some good stuff from the Mary Wade cameras?
The detective bureau is looking into it. I didn't get a chance to look at all the cameras.
Sergeant, if I would ask you
Oh.
to just, point your comments this, well.
Okay, I'll talk.
Yeah,
How do they know what the question was on Zoom? You should probably repeat the
yeah,
question.
can you repeat the question?
Yeah. The question was if there was one of the incidents on Mary Wade. I have it here. I think that was probably the 92 app. No, I have it on here. So the question was on Mary Wade if the Mary Wade cameras captured it all, but I would have to. I didn't go to every specific one, but I have a list of where cameras were, witnesses. There's a whole spreadsheet.
Are we making some kind of a unit to get these people at nighttime or?
There is.
Anything in the works?
There is no unit that's able to handle it, but we're working with our records. There's also like a clerical error on our end where it's getting coded out as different, so it's hard to, but we're fixing it on our end, and that's why Records Division had emailed me a spreadsheet. I only concentrated on Fairhaven, obviously. But there's other units in the detective bureau that is looking into it.
The one on Black's Avenue today, the guy said he didn't see much, but he saw a pickup truck leaving the blue,
We've been getting a lot of a white Mercedes has been involved, and there's two different white Mercedes. One was a sedan, one was like a SUV. Both were stolen. Well, at least the plates were stolen. Can't say for sure the car was stolen. We recovered the sedan, but then that car, is still out. And I do encourage people, if they do see anything, to not approach. Just take video is our best friend. I don't know for certain here in New Haven, but there is a chat in don't quote me, but it was either New Britain or somewhere in the Hartford County area where our same white Mercedes with the fake plate did present a firearm when somebody approached the car.
so there might be from out of town too.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of move along here. Dr. Lagarde is next, and then I'll take a question from Sally. I see her online.
I'll come up here. Maybe I think it'll be a bit easier. So, your name?
Sergeant Alvarado.
You are Sergeant Apparat, so we have spoken. So the increase is astronomical. It's not just Honda Accords, because the one that's the four wheels were taken from our parking lot was not a Honda Accord. We have video. I would love assurances that someone's looked at the video. We've been asked to send it, but I don't know that there's anybody actually looking at it. And I know that you've expressed concerns because you feel you don't have enough staff on because this all happens in the night. But in a matter of a month, we've had a car put from our parking lot, put on, all the tires taken. We have video of a person walking, not a vehicle, walking, trying to smash the windows of our truck, failed, moved on to another car, smashed those windows, popped the hood, took the battery. We've had someone clearly cut our internet cable. We've had a dumpster fire, and just last night we had somebody trying to gain entrance. I mean, it's astronomical, and I recognize the problem, but I don't know what to do at this point. It is like literally feels like it's out of control.
Well, I will say I researched 374 Granite. There was not one police report made to the New Haven Police Department.
That's not true. So
we could talk offline, but
Yeah,
I'm
we
telling you
should.
that I looked and there was not one police report
okay.
made to the New Haven Police Department.
Okay, I will look into that as
374
well.
Grand
I will look into
So I
that as
would
well.
love
It's not
to-
what I've been told, but
I
that's
would-
okay.
I think you were told wrong, but I would love to
But
see
I
these.
called you myself.
Yes, but I
and we
need an
spoke.
official New Haven police report to go off. of.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Can you please get those videos to them too also?
When-
That's what we were told.
When
Email.
the
You
police
sent them,
report
you
is
sent
sent,
them.
when the police report is sent, it will go into the
Let's
system.
let
That's
them
how it works.
Rob, let's let them finish, and So let's establish some facts. That's bilateral, and the rest of the community, if you want to participate and listen, that's on you, but, yes, you had a question or clarification?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I'm Frank Redenti, I'm the alder of Ward 15. First I want to say what a great partner Sergeant Alvarado has been. The shortage is real. It's real for a guy like me who lives in the thick of it on Poplar Street, who deals with it every day of his life, who at night is the street outreach worker dealing with the crime in these streets, and also as the alder. The shortage is real. These guys are getting on their shifts and they're already backlogged 10 to 15 calls. I think it's very unfair to treat a public servant like Sergeant Alvarado the way he's been treated. Not just here, but I've sat in other community management team meetings, and I won't say which, where he was not only mistreated, but racist statements were made.
Towards him?
Not towards him, but irregardless. Regardless, this is the man we trust with our public safety. He is short. When I call him, he responds. He does not call other people. He doesn't wait for one of his people to go deal with it. He does it himself. A couple of weeks ago, I caught a lady stealing packages on Downing Street. He was knee deep in other stuff. I followed her for 2 blocks. This man met me on Front Street and arrested her. You know what? The court let her out, and the next day, she was walking through the Fairhaven School parking lot with more packages under her arm. You know why? Because our courts are letting them out. Sergeant Alvarado and his men and women on this police department arrest people every day that are let right back out onto our streets. So if there's anybody we should be directing this towards, it is our state legislators and the court system. We have gun offenders that are being let out. We have drug dealers that are being let out. I'm very frustrated. Mr. Roberts knows we talk almost every day about the stolen car epidemic. It's disgusting that it's happening in our neighborhoods, but they're doing it because they know we have no police. We have 3 units on a weekend night for the entirety of Fairhaven. To think that they could sit somewhere and watch something it's beyond me, guys. I don't know how we could have that expectation. Thank you, Lee.
So with that, let me just say, I know that there are more comments here, but I just want to be respectful of everyone's time. If there is some information that you have or a specific question, we're not going to debate this now. No one knows better than Frank and Carolyn, who's also an alder, and my wife Sarah, that efforts have been made and continue to be made to work in coordination with the police to get the courts more sensitized about the impact. Another thing that will have a huge impact is that finally there is now a contract for the police. It will take some time, but that will help tremendously. So I just wanted to put that framing, and if you either have a question or some useful information, if not, we're going to move along. I've said that. Does anyone have a question or some useful piece of information before I move to Sally?
I just wanted to second what Frank says, because anytime I've called him for other issues, he's called me back. He's very available, so nobody should be yelling or.
Yeah.
He's very
And no one is, other than
Me.
whenever, anyone, listen up, folks. Order. Listen up. Whenever anyone gets frustrated, it's natural that our voice goes up. Let us be understanding of each other so that we can move forward to solve problems together. Okay, so we're gonna move on. The conversation has stopped. It has not ended. This is ongoing. Sally, your question or comment?
My question is for the sergeant, and it's just a procedural question. Given the shortage that we know exists, if there is an attempted break-in of a residence, is it expected that an officer will come to the house, or is it simply a phone transaction with a report filed over the phone?
No, a burglary, no, that's a higher priority, especially if it's in progress. That's a priority 1. If it's, the next day and I came in my business and it happened sometime overnight, it may take a little bit longer. It's not a priority one anymore, but if it's in progress, if you hear somebody at your door or whatnot, that's a priority one. That calls for an immediate response.
So
But either
even,
way, they're all in-person responses for a burglary. You can't take it over the phone.
okay, so if if the call was made after the event, but within like 30 minutes or 15 minutes, they were
Mhm.
just, taking care of kids, and then the report was taken over the phone, but that would fall into the priority two, are you saying?
If it's a burglary, that it would fall into a priority two, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
if
you.
Any other questions online? I see none. Any other questions in the room? Okay, so let's keep things going and let's think in terms of solutions, folks, and let's work together. Malachi, are you here?
I still don't see him in the chat room.
So then we're gonna move on with our normal agenda and go to Carmen. Carmen, I hope your microphone is working.
I hope so too. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We
Oh,
don't see
that's
you.
great. Okay, can you see me now?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay,
Wait.
thank you.
Turn
A
your
quick,
camera down a little bit. So we can see your
okay,
face. Your smiling
okay,
face.
can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So for this month, well, the same for last month as well. I have been, I always go out into the neighborhood 3 times a week, 2 days that I spend trying to write letters or contacting landlords about properties. I started to pick up where I left off before I left. Had some time off, but I have 32 properties that I am currently researching, and an additional 32 that I have to look into.
Carmen.
Chapel, Pine, Bright Street, Haven, yes.
Carmen, maybe try turning off your camera to see if that gives you more bandwidth.
Say that again, I can't hear you.
Yeah, please turn off your camera to see if it gives you more bandwidth so we can hear you better.
Okay,
Okay,
can
go
you hear
ahead.
me better now?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
So as I mentioned, I have 32 properties that I'm currently working on. I'm trying to either contact the landlord or writing letters of notices of violation. And they include properties on Grand, Ferry, Chapel, Pine, Bright, Poplar, Haven, River, Wolcott, Lombard, Exchange, James. Those are the streets that I've been mostly on, and most of them are, as I said, are quality of life issues, and we're trying to deal with them. Most of them are complaints, and it takes a while because you have to verify the complaints, and then you have to decide, you have to reach out to them first before you write a notice of violation. But I'm at the point with these 32 properties of writing a notice of violation. I have verified and I've tried to reach out, and there's nothing left for me to do other than write letters. The other 32, I will probably get to toward the end of the month.
Thank you very much. Let me see if there are any questions here in the room. Yes, question in the back.
Oh, hi Carmen, it's Paul from River Place, Front Street. Any update on 218, 224 Front Street with the shipping containers that have been there for 2 years? And the house
Yes.
that's like falling apart?
Yes, they have, I can't talk about the financial situation. However, the intent has been to clear them out and remove them. And the house is going to undergo renovation. It's historic renovation. And they have an architect working on the project. And as I said, there's a monetary situation going on that has prevented the quick, conclusion to that project.
Carmen, we've been hearing that for 2 years. In the meantime, while they say they're broke, they bought a $300,000 condo and another $200,000 condo. So I don't know how broke they can be if they can't get this property fixed,
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, you have, Carmen, Paul, do you have information about that? I want to ask you to go directly to her on that
Okay.
issue so that that can be
Yeah, thank you.
followed up on.
Yeah, it's just been ongoing for 2 years, so.
Yeah.
2.5 years, so.
I understand the frustration.
Totally.
Okay, any questions online for Carmen? I have a suggestion for you, Carmen, which is if you could send to our email address the list of all the streets that you're currently working on, whenever that is, so that then the residents can see, and if they live on that street, or if they have an interest in that street, a business, they live around the corner from that street, then they can reach out to you and have a bilateral conversation with you about that particular street. If you can do the numbers, great, but at least the streets, so people will know where you're focusing on and be able to either stay informed or be able to maybe add some information or perspective. Is that possible?
Yes, now I email it to you guys at the Fairhaven Community Management Team.
Yes.
Email? Okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Fairhaven.com. And then we can just add that to the minutes. Okay, Christina has agreed to add that to the minutes. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then ask for Malachi one more time. Malachi?
Still don't see him.
Okay, I know that it's frustrating to not have someone from economic development, but again, similar to police, this much problem, this much resource, but they're working, we're all working together here. Okay, so let's move on in the agenda. And now we're gonna go to, from Livable City, skipping economic development and moving on to the next point on the agenda. Fairhaven Community Healthcare, Dr. Sue Lagarde is right here
Okay.
with us.
So
Come
how do
on,
I
come
do
on
it?
up.
So Adam has a slide deck, and he's going to advance the slides, right there, Adam?
Yeah, and you can have a seat or stand, whichever you prefer.
Okay, Adam, you want to go to the
Yep.
first slide?
Yeah, just give me a second to share the screen, and here we go.
So I have actually two very you guys hear me? I feel like I'm not fine. Yeah, that feels bad. How about this? Is this better? I have two announcements to make. The first is, many of you know that we're building a building at the corner of James and Grand. It's 390 Grand. And as part of the building, we have planned two murals on the building. And I'm here to share with you where we stand in those plans, as well as to invite you on either Friday, November the 1st, or Saturday, November the 2nd, to what we're calling a community engagement day, where we're inviting the community to meet with the muralists to talk about your vision for how you'd like to see the murals depicted. The only, let's go to the next slide. That slide is good. No, Adam, back, please. Okay. Where you see red on these two buildings, that's the building looked at from two different vantage points. Where you see red, where Lee is pointing, where there will be murals. These murals are about 13 feet high. And we conducted a search for muralists. We reached out to a number of muralists here in Connecticut. We extended our search to include more of the Northeast. We ended up, and we had a committee composed of staff, board, patients, and we all unanimously ended up choosing a young woman by the name of Sylvia Lopez Chavez. And Adam, next slide, please. That's her. She's actually housed in Boston. She's from the Dominican Republic, and I think she's just wonderful. She does wonderful artwork. We've given her the task of creating murals that we want to be welcoming to the community, and that also give the message of healthcare is a right. Healthcare is for everyone. And on Friday, November the 1st, at 5 o'clock and I have some flyers that I put on the table here. And again, on Saturday morning, the next morning, November the 2nd at 9:30 at our main conference room at 374 Grand. She's going to be there to meet with everybody and anybody and to talk about it and to talk about her artwork and get ideas from all of you. This is I've shown just a few of pieces of work. She's done a lot of work, large murals. Her style is quite distinctive. She actually does most of it as painting rather than spray painting. She does it with brush painting. Next slide, Adam, please. Adam, yep, just keep going through them. Yep. And this is her actually engaged in a similar community event at another mural. So again, there's a flyer on the counter. We really would like as much community participation as possible. This is your opportunity to talk to the artist and give her your ideas about what you'd like to see, colors, forms, what have you. And we're very excited about her. I think if you meet her, you will also get to appreciate her skills. The second thing I want to announce is the next slide, Adam, please. Is that although Grand Pharmacy, many of you who may have been by this place will know that we had what we call a soft opening earlier in September. So we're up and running there, but we're having a formal ribbon cutting this coming Tuesday, the 8th, at 9 in the morning. We welcome the whole community to come. We really want you to really see what is available to you in the community. For those of you who do not know, because we are what is called a federally qualified health center, we are able to buy medications at government prices, which is really inexpensive. And we can pass those costs on to our patients. This is a federal program. It's not something that we regulate. And we are required that if somebody, for someone to benefit from this program, the script has to be written by one of our clinicians, one of our doctors, one of our nurse practitioners. But for anyone who is struggling with the price of drugs, if you are uninsured, that's an issue for you. If you have a commercial insurance and you may have a high deductible, you would qualify. If we would need to get you together, you would need to become, in a sense, our patient to the extent that it would have to be written by one of our providers. But the medication savings, the cost of medication savings is profound. I'll give you an example. I think you've all heard about how President Biden has implemented a program where seniors can buy insulin for $35 for a month's supply. We actually have, there are many different kinds of insulin, but in one instance, I can buy insulin for 15 cents for a month's supply. And we pass that we literally pass that savings on with a very tiny dispense fee to any one of our patients. So I want to just make you aware of that. The other thing that you'll see, I don't see it so well here, but hopefully on the screen at home, we have same day delivery. We have we have something called Dispel, which is a prescription dispensing. So if you're somebody who happens to have a number of medications, we can package your medications so that you know exactly what you're taking when you're taking it in this little packaging system. We have, as I said, same day delivery for those who are our patients. It's on the same electronic medical record. So your pharmacist speaks to your doctor and it's all in one record, which is incredibly helpful. We have bilingual staff. And for those who are not our patients, this is a pharmacy for the community. So you don't have to be our patient to come here. We want everyone to benefit from the services we can provide. The program that I talked to you about, it's called 340B. We can only use it for people who have seen our clinicians, but it's a service that is really remarkable for those facing significant challenges with the cost of medications. Again, we're open for business. Evenings, Saturday morning, we're there. And, in most instances, same day delivery, unless if your call comes in late in the afternoon, it might go into the next day. But for most everybody who gets a script, we will do same day delivery if that's the way, if that's your preferred way. Great part for those of you who remember Granda Pizza. This used to be Granda Pizza. There's plenty of parking in the back. So if you come by car, there's parking there. So. And again, I also put a flyer on the table that talks about our opening. We're open already, but the official ribbon cutting will be this Tuesday at 9. That's it.
Any questions, either if you could take down the presentations, we can see everybody.
I have a question.
We have a question from Christina.
Yes, what are the hours? You said we're open late in the evening.
I always have to look. Hold on a sec.
You have a question online, please raise your hand. While we're waiting for an answer.
Monday through Friday is.
So Monday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesday, 9 to 7, Wednesday, 9:30 to 6.
Oh, okay, so I need to look online. Okay.
Thursday, yeah, 9 to 7, Saturday.
So it varies. So the latest is Tuesday at 7, is that correct?
The latest is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7. That's correct.
And if any of you Google the pharmacy, just like all other businesses, it tells you
Yeah.
every day the schedule for that day, if they put it up, which I'm sure they
I'll
have.
put the link in here.
Okay, wonderful. Any questions online before we move on? I don't see any questions online. Any questions in the room? Yes, question in the back, Paul.
Hi, do we have to just speak to the pharmacist if we want to find out pricing, or do we have to go to a doctor to get the information?
So you would just need to speak to somebody in the pharmacy, and we have a mixture, but we have some who are bilingual, some who, so for those who are prefer the conversation in Spanish, that is possible. And what's critically important is to find, again, if the script is written by one of our physicians or one of our clinicians, the pricing is different than if for those who are either uninsured or what we call underinsured, i.e. have a high deductible. And otherwise, they can certainly give you the pricing based on whatever commercial insurance you might have or Medicaid, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah, I just have insurance that doesn't want to cover something, so I want to buy it like privately, so that's why I just wanted to check and see how it works.
They can certainly give you a price, but hopefully they will also tell you that if there's a mechanism whereby you can get to one of our clinicians.
Exactly.
The program is called 340B. And if again, it's a federal program, it's available to us. We don't make the rules of how it works. We wouldn't make it available to everybody. But it has, the script has to be written by one of our clinicians.
Okay.
But under those circumstances, the savings can be really substantial.
So in essence, for those of you that are online, this last exchange was talk to the pharmacist to find out the pricing in relation to what your status is with the clinic and your private or public insurance. May I just say that I am a proud patient of the clinic, have been for many years. I'm fortunate enough to be on only one medication, but I went over there, I talked to Jeanette, she's the lead pharmacist. There's our other pharmacist, and I just told her, and she just looked me up, and next thing I know, I'm getting it from the pharmacy. I had to do nothing except tell her, I'm a patient, I want to transfer here, and they did everything else. It could not have been faster or smoother, and I highly recommend it for anyone who lives in Fairhaven. Okay.
I'm sorry, just for the notes, I have one clarifying question. Is this the same place that used to be on 374 Grand? Only because it's not actually coming up when I'm Googling, so I want to be
So
clear.
374 grand, we rent that space to New Haven Pharmacy, totally separate entity, they rent the space, has nothing to do with us, they're their own entity. We are at 111 grand, we also have a site at our facility that is in Branford, right over the East Haven line.
Right, that's the doctor I go to. What I'm saying is that if someone wants to Google this location, it's actually not coming up yet. So that's why I didn't.
111 grand, it's
Correct.
111 grand.
Grand Pharmacy, you look.
Yes, I'm looking that up.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
let's have a talk offline,
Yeah.
Sue, about having your web people go to Google council, something, and you fill it out and boom, Google puts
Okay.
it up. So
Okay.
there's a way to do that.
All right,
Let's
thank
get
you.
that
Yeah,
expedited.
thank you.
And also, let's make sure we put the information in our minutes, which
Right,
is
that's
what
what I'm
Christina is on. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna move along here on our agenda. We're doing great. The next presentation that we had was planned was from Charlene Crosley of the Urban League, a program called True Haven. But she called us this afternoon and told us that she's sick. So she's asked to be postponed to next month. So that Yeah, you can cross that off the agenda in terms of being tonight. And so that means we're moving on to Kirk Morrison, who is online, even though he's here at the library. Kirk, we're gonna put you up here, try to make you look a little bit like Darth Vader. And no, here we go. We'll
Okay,
continue. There you go.
we have so much going on, I'm gonna have to split it into what's going on for adults and what's going on for kids. First of all, we are planning a spooky month here in October. At this time next week, we backed by popular demand, Joe Frank, a paranormal investigator who had been here last year, will be back to talk about some of his investigations. Maybe he'll make a believer out of you. He will be here, like I say, next Thursday, so that's the 10th, at 6 o'clock. Same place, same room. Joe Frank, spread the word. Also, later this month, although supposedly he has passed away, we will be welcoming Edgar Allan Poe to the library. Edgar Allan Poe will be here to read some of his more famous works and tell you a little bit about his life. So our night with Edgar Allan Poe will be 1 week before Halloween. It's the best timing we could get. So Edgar Allan Poe will be here on 3 weeks from tonight. That will be October 24th, right here at 6 o'clock. Also, something that we're looking forward to, but is not spooky this month, is many of you know Folly Delgado from Gather New Haven, one of the volunteers. She'll be coming in to do a DIY gardening. For many folks, gardening will start coming to an end, but Folly will have some ideas about windowsill gardening, and as always, she's got a lot of good tips and instructions for you. She will be here Saturday, October 19th at 11 a.m. Many of her past gardening workshops have been well attended, so you don't want to miss that. Now, a couple other things that are coming up for families and for kids. This Saturday, backed by popular demand, is the entertainer Elba Lantine. She will be doing a all singing, all dancing performance related to Hispanic Heritage Month. And so, it'll be bilingual, and it'll be taking place at 11 here on Saturday, right in the same room that this event is taking on. So spread the word. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, this coming Monday, for any of the pre-Ks that you know, we're having a story time that's brought to you by the New Haven Fire Department. Not only will they be doing the story time at 10:30, the typical bilingual story time that we have in the room, but they will also be bringing one of their very cool vehicles for kids to have a chance to get on board. So that will be taking place Tuesday, 10:30, the regular time that we have stay and play. But like I say, this particular week, it will be with the fire department. The last thing that I welcome all folks to do, this might be the city, this might be city people, but we have successfully once again hatched chickens here in the library. So if you're up on the main floor, you can meet some of our fluffy, fuzzy chicks that are only a couple of days old. They hatched earlier this week. There's still a chance for them to get a few more companions, depending on how how much staying power some of these unhatched eggs have. But you'll have a chance to meet them anytime you come in. And we will have them for another couple of weeks before they go back to the organization that we get the eggs from. So a lot going on. Hope to see you at one of the adult or kids events soon.
Hey, Kurt, can you say something about the pictures that are up around the library and their relation to the mural? I was gonna say something about that, but it's your library. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, there's an art exhibit going on that relates to the mural. There are picture frames that kids from countries all around the world have done. That's part of a touring art exhibit that accompanies the murals that get that as you've heard, go all around the world and in each of the 50 states. Those are just on display. You can see them anytime on the main floor when you come in.
Perfect, thank you. And speaking of that, before we move on to the next point, let me just tell you that we have met the goal. Not only have we raised a total of $15,000 to paint the mural outside, but the last 3,000 we raised are this close to liberating an additional 3,000. So we raised the first 9, and then we found out about Kinetic Sustainable CT, and we've been raising 3,000 for about 3 weeks now, and we exceeded by about $40 the 3,000. But here's the catch. Let me put people back up. The catch is, in order to get the match, we need to have 1% of the amount that we're raising in number of donors. So what that means is $3,000 we're trying to raise, we need 30 donors. And guess what? We're at 24 donors. 24. We need 6 more people to donate. And where we are is we don't actually need the money. We need the people. So if you can donate, to do it online, it's a minimum of $10. But if you can donate just $10 and you have not donated, thank you to those who have donated already. You won't count if you donate again. It has to be a total of 30. We're at 24. I can send you the link. It's on the Chatham Square website. We can put it in our minutes. We can, I don't know if there's anyone, Adam, I don't know if you can put the link, take it from the Chatham Square website and just drop the link in the chat, because we need 6 people. And honestly, we still have 39 days to do it. But 39 days is not going to cut it. We don't want to wait 39 days. We want 6 people, if possible, tonight to go online and just donate $10.
Can you just tell us the website?
Well, the problem is that it's not that simple, right? Because it's the website plus our project.
Okay.
So,
So where do they go if they go into the site?
um,
And I can go, and I'll just link it
No,
right to directly.
yeah, you're gonna link it right there. There's the Chatham Square website.
It'll be
And
on
there it
the
is.
chat.
Just click on there.
Is that it
I'll
down
put
here?
the link in right now to go minutes.
So Christina's gonna put the link in the minutes, and any of you who are in the room can get it right now when you come. But this is something you do on your phone or at home, because you have to put a credit card or an ATM card in. We won't sell your information or anything like that. And actually, we also got an additional bonus, because I'm the lead person. I happen to have the special status of having a Hispanic last name, and all the fees are gonna be removed. So all the fees are gonna be removed because there's a donor that gave them money for that, when the lead person is a person of color or Latino. So 100% of what you give goes to the project, the whole $10, and on top of that, you're liberating $3,000. And the mural, we already started because we're confident this is gonna happen, and we'll have an inauguration of the mural sometime in mid-October, before it gets too cold, with some local food, press, and I hope you all come. But if you get a moment, as Kirk said, go see the pictures. They're incredible. Kids from Uganda and Syria and Sweden and all over the world have participated in this. 125 countries. We're only the 4th state, the 4th one to do this project. And the goal is one of these murals in every state in the union. Okay?
Question from someone in the chat. If we already donated,
Yeah.
because we're done, we can't donate
Right.
again, right? Okay.
Unless you have a different name and a different credit card.
Or if your spouse.
Your
hasn't
spouse,
donated.
I just twisted my son Pablo's arm a little bit and he donated. I just twisted a lot, just a little bit. And we have some of the businesses on Grand Avenue have donated, and, but again, at this point, I want to emphasize, it's not about the money, in terms of a lot of money, we just need to get the 6 more donors.
So where?
5 more donors, Lee.
Oh, there we go, only 5 more donors.
Happy to donate, but I need to know where to find.
Yes, we're gonna tell you that.
Okay.
I can't tell you right now, but we're gonna provide that.
Oh, you'll send, okay.
Well, the link is already linked in the minutes.
Okay, it's linked in the minutes, but we can give it to you tonight.
Sure can.
Yeah.
4
Okay,
more donors. I'm about to donate Armando.
okay, so there you go.
And Lee, I want to let you also know that Malachi has joined us.
Huh?
Malachi has joined us for the evening.
Oh, okay, so before we go into the next announcement, and there are only 2, and then the reports, we're gonna get out of here early tonight. Malachi, thank you for joining us. I understand that there's 2 interesting, exciting projects. Gonna put you up full screen here.
Yes, Lee, thank you so much. I'm so sorry to be late. I apologize. I'm in another meeting right now, but so just gonna jump in, jump out. So I thank the Fairhaven Group so much for helping us. We submitted an application for President Biden's Reconnecting Communities pilot program, which reconnects neighborhoods that were split or that were separated via highway construction. So we're really excited about that. That we're looking at a focus area that includes Fairhaven, specifically along I-91, between I-95 and I-91 exit 6. So I thank you so much, Fairhaven, the Fairhaven CMT, so a lot of the Fairhaven alders for pitching in and helping us lobby and get a lot of things and documents completed to submit. We submitted a $2 million grant request for planning activity so that we can really understand or think of or brainstorm ways in which we can reconnect Fairhaven, Cedar Hill, Wooster Square, and downtown. Because as you know, New Haven was pretty separated into 2, like east and west, where east is Mill River, Fairhaven, and west, of course, is Wooster Square, downtown, East Rock, Cedar Hill. So how do we kind of reconnect both halves together and do so in an innovative and inclusive way? And then the other fun project is we have released a request for qualification for the redevelopment of a 10-acre parcel on River Street. So we're really excited about that. So please, if you know any developers or you know any builders or just know anyone who may be interested in any networks that you're connected to, please feel free in letting everyone know. We're really interested in getting a vision, getting a proposal. And what I tell people all the time, this is only a request for qualification, not a request for a proposal. Therefore, nothing has to be binding. It's more so, can someone, help us with a vision? Can someone help us with a brainstorm as to what can go there, what can be inclusive, what can really help to reconnect the neighbors back to the waterfront, that provides some affordable housing, specifically deeply affordable housing, of course, and just, some overall improve the quality of life in the Fairhaven River Street area. So we're really excited about these 2 projects. Let me know if you have any questions too, because I know I talked fast.
Okay, so we do have a question before Abby's question, and if you're online and you have a question, I can also acknowledge you, but just two points. First one is a clarification, because people may not understand about this reconnecting. So on a highway, that when you go down Grand Avenue, you're on one side of the highway and you're in Fairhaven, and then you're on the other side and you're in Wooster Square, and that highway cuts through. Historically, prior to highways, Fairhaven and Wooster Square were one and the same. We have another highway going over us over on Ferry and Middletown Avenue, and it's a high rise. Think about when Route 34 made it impossible for there to be flow between downtown and the hill where Yale New Haven Hospital is. And the way that it is now, it's much more user friendly. There are bike lanes. There's just more interconnection. This grant that they applied for is to begin planning for that. These things take that years and years, okay, just to be clear, this is a planning grant for that. Does that capture, Malachi, is that an accurate description?
Absolutely, Lee. That was a perfect summation. But yeah, I forgot to mention that I-91 was one of the last highway structures constructed. It was built mid to late 1960s. And before its existence, Jocelyn Square was surrounded by density, single-family homes, two-family dwellings. So there was housing, there were people living there were residents, and they had direct connection to downtown. And as you mentioned, in the 1960s, as part of an urban renewal effort launched by the federal government, of course, I-91 was constructed, and that split or separated Jocelyn Square from Wooster Square. So, and it also displaced residents. And now we only have around, don't quote me, around 4 to 6 connections connecting Fairhaven to downtown. So as you know, Lee just mentioned Grand Avenue is the longest one, right? But there's other connections connecting Fairhaven and the River Street area as well to downtown that was really split as a result of this construction. So it was really innovative and very transformative for the federal government to invest back into these communities that they helped or contributed to this separation and working on ways in which we can help the community think through how we can reconnect these areas that are now separated because of construction.
Perfect. Abby has a question here in the room.
Hi Malachi, I'm so happy to hear that you've freed up River Street for possible redevelopment. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about what part of River Street that is? Like what are the bordering streets, just so we have a sense of the area?
Yeah, it is at River Street and Lloyd. So it's 100 and 102 River, if I'm remembering correctly, which was the former or historic Hess site.
Yep.
So since then, the city, as we know, purchased that site around 2000, 2001 from Hess. And because of the great work of my colleague and coworker, Helen Rosenberg, she got a lot of grant funding from the state and the federal government to clean up the site. So now the site is up to a safety level to be habitable. So we're thinking about turning this to some sort of residential, mixed use, commercial, residential entertainment type of area for the city and more importantly for the residents. So it's really close to Criscolo Park, Hardy Press, that area.
Did you say 10 acres though? Is it that big?
I mean, it's around 9.6. I like whole numbers.
Very close, yeah. It's very, yeah. Yeah, I've heard between 8 and 10 acres. But the best way for people who live here to figure this out is go right down Blatchley Avenue. Fairhaven Furniture on your right, that big gate, and look in both directions, all that land right smack in the center.
Great.
It's a beautiful parcel.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Oh, there we go. There's some there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, see, look at how big, there's Fairhaven Furniture. Go back to pictures. Here's Fairhaven Furniture. Look, right there. Yeah, this is, yeah, just to give you an idea, in West Haven, is at the end of Campbell Avenue, you come and there's a park. And it has a trail that goes, I don't know if it's east and west, but it goes this way. The sound is there. I mean, that's what potentially this could become with also some housing, just like it is down
It's
there.
like as big as Criscolo Park. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I zoomed out a bit.
They're all
Yeah.
perfect. Look, so there's Criscolo Park, you all know, and look how big that parcel is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
So this is request for qualifications. So if you know someone that you think might be qualified, they can apply, they can submit, to say, we're architects, we're developers, whatever. Any questions online before we move on? Yeah, and if I may spill the beans a little bit, Paul, go ahead.
Are there any dates scheduled for community input meetings regarding this project?
Any dates, Malachi, for community input?
Not yet. We do have a pre-proposal meeting scheduled for October 10th. And that is on the OpenGov website, which is a procurement site on which this opportunity is advertised. So that is a pre-proposal meeting. Residents, of course, can show up to that meeting to learn a little bit more about the project. We'll go a little bit more in depth. But that's not really a community meeting in like the words and thoughts of a community meeting. But once we, look at some of these proposals, we will include the community before we select or pick someone, specifically the alders. So we're not going to pick anyone without community input.
Oh, I meant the reconnection, part.
Oh, the reconnection part. Okay.
Oh, the reconnection part, yes. The reconnection part, we're actually getting planning grants to fund community engagement effort. So we're going to hire a team who's going to host and coordinate, upwards of 5 to even 6, 7, 10 community meetings to because that project is very community facing. How can you as a resident, I as someone in the city, how can we both together brainstorm ways in which we can reconnect? So that's all about community engagement, community input. And just studying and, traffic analysis, etc. Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I do want to just spill the beans a little bit. This young man right here, were you born in New Haven?
Yes, born and raised.
grew up in New Haven. He is going to law school.
Yeah.
This is the kind of young person we want to not only is he from New Haven, but he's totally committed, working for the city, going to law school. You go, guy. Great job. And he's from up here, like you're like from like Exit 8 somewhere, like he's like a local. He's really local. So for everything for us, and good luck in law school.
Thank you so much, Lee. You're making me blush a little bit. You can't see it, but I'm blushing.
Okay, we're gonna move on. If you need to jump off, we understand.
Yeah.
You get some applause there on the side note. Okay, you take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay, folks, so then we had a couple of more announcements. We just want to recognize that tonight is the Jewish holiday, Rosh Hashanah. Happy New Year. I forget 5780 something. And so just want you to know that that's going on. And then who's gonna do the announcement about elections?
I'll talk about that. I also wanted to say your peace wall, 3 more people needed for the peace wall. So we got a couple during the meeting. So elections, anyone who is a voting member of this assembly can run for office or be nominated for an office. We have 2 co-chairs, which is Lee and Liz right now, who, you run the meetings and other stuff like that. You have the vice chair, myself, primarily do attendance and keeping track of that kind of stuff. We've got 2 secretaries, a corresponding and recording. One of them corresponds with people and one of them records things. And we've got a treasurer who takes care of cash. So if you think that you would be a good fit for any of those things, or a better fit than any of us, or anything like that, please nominate yourself, nominate your friends. As long as they've been at 5 of the last 12 meetings, they're eligible. This is all on our website, FHCMT.org. We definitely have 2 openings of people who won't be running in this next year. So for our treasurer and corresponding secretary, if you're especially, good at sending out newsletters or you're good with numbers and stuff like that, we'd love to have you. We will be voting next month. So if you are a voting member, which is again 5 out of the last 12 meetings, please join us next month and submit your vote for our board for the following year. Thank you very much.
Thank you for making that announcement, Adam. We're trying to share, reminding people every month have a different person for the management team. It would be great to have more than one candidate for every position. I'm totally open to someone running against me. I would love that. So please consider all the positions, but I just want to let you know that there is one position, corresponding secretary, for which, so that's Abby's job. She just had to leave for another meeting. That position, no one has been nominated or nominated themselves. We started nominations last month. I want to just open nominations again and say, is there anyone in the room or online who would like to nominate someone else? Hopefully you've talked to them so that we don't want to embarrass people or have them down. So if you've talked to someone, or if you yourself are interested in the position, it is okay to nominate yourself.
We do have a nomination from Kara Hood for the corresponding secretary for herself.
Okay, so, Kara, you want to come on and just, can you put your mic on and, just want, for those of you that don't know her, this is Kara. And,
She needs to unmute herself.
Oh,
He's
okay.
waving.
Are you not able to speak on the mic? Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
Kara.
yes. Okay. And, Kara, you've been coming to meetings for how long?
Ever since I knew about them, so I think this is probably my 7th meeting.
Okay, okay. And you live here in Fairhaven?
I do. I live at Bottling Works. I'm on the board at the Bottling Works condo association.
Okay, so you meet the criteria, you've been to 7 of the last 12 meetings, you only need to have come to 5, and you live in Fairhaven, and that's great. So, next month, when we do the actual final thing, then you'll need to find someone, or we'll need to find someone to second you. Also, as I said, the position of treasurer is open, and we only have one candidate for that, that's Katisha. And, even the ones that aren't open, you can run against Liz or me or Christina or Adam, for the positions. If you read the bylaws, they're up on our minutes, on our website. It tells you in, not huge detail, but it tells you broadly what the responsibilities are for each of these positions. I thank you, Kara, for stepping up. Appreciate that. And, anyone else in the room or online? Okay.
So I'm just gonna, I'll second the Kara's nomination, and I'm just gonna run through real quick. If you hear your name, you're eligible. Marianne, Anna, Frank, Natalie, me, Liz, Christina, Maureen, Liz, Patricia, Mark, Darlene, Dennis, Paul, Abby, Carrie, Sally, Michelle Lee, Joyce, Eddie, Laverne, Fereshta, John Stallworth, Gina, Sarah Miller, Aaron Good, Caroline, Jaywan, Dave Weinreb, Lauren Bezio, Barry Gladu, John Truxicki, Donna Presnell, Jen Furlano, Hassan Sitak, Eric Gonzalez, Sophia Blenman. So we've got 43 different voting members. I skipped some of the ones like the library could technically run, the police could technically run, but I mean, probably
But
not.
they can go one representative from the library, one representative for Fairhaven Health Clinic, one representative from Mary Wade Home can join, because those institutions have had consistent, representation. Okay, so, let's not belabor the point. You know, it's next month. We're gonna organize it. And I'm gonna ahead of time say thank you to Adam, because Adam's the one who really just puts all these voting things together. I don't know how he does it, but he does it, and we appreciate it. So, thank you for that. And of course, the rest of the team will be working right there with you. Okay, so we've gone through the announcements that we have. Before we get to the Alder reports real quick, are there any other announcements, very quick, 1 minute or less of anything? Anything that someone knows is coming up that we should know about as a community in Fairhaven? Don't see any online, don't see any in the room. Okay, let's go through the alders. We have a report from Alder Cupo.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay,
So I have to read this verbatim? It's
No.
pretty long.
No.
So she wants you to support the public school strong, petition. There's a link in the minutes. She's also letting you know that Unite Here Local 217 contract win at the Omni New Haven Hotel at Yale. I want to read that though. She says, I want to give a huge shout out to the 100+ hospitality workers at the Omni New Haven Hotel who won a fair contract with their employer after a 4-day strike. I was proud to walk the strike line with the workers that Friday and teach my kids about worker power and working class solidarity. When we fight, we win.
Yeah,
Did you
my
add
wife
something?
Sarah and I also march with our kids. I think it's really important to let kids know about these things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So her Ward 8 office hours, will be Sunday, October 13th from 12 to 2. It says at the Jitter Bus, 847 Grand Ave. On Thursday, October 31st, New Haven's having a trunk or treat event at Southern's parking lot on 114 Farnham Ave. I'm just trying to scan through this. Early voting. So she said early voting begins on October 21st at 200 Orange Street. And she just wants me to give you the deadline. So in-person deadlines for early voting ends on the 3rd of November. Absentee ballot deadlines, November 4th. You must return your ballot by November 5th, 8 p.m. Making sure there's no reruns here, and that's it. If you look into the minutes, you'll be able to see everything in its entirety.
Okay, moving right along, Alder Carolyn.
We have a note in the thing that it's not 200 Orange Street, it's City Hall for the early voting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, good point.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, correction. Caroline, you have something?
Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. My name is Caroline Tomby Smith, and I serve on the Board of Alders as the Alder for Ward 9, which includes parts of the East Rock and Fairhaven neighborhood. And I just have 2 updates. One's about small businesses and one's about infrastructure. So for small businesses, I'm partnering, I'm proud to partner with City Seed to host our second citywide food business community meeting. And the real focus of that is, one, I believe that New Haven can be the best place and the best city to start a small business, in part because, as we all know, we have something that is enviable. We have individuals in every single neighborhood who want to start businesses, which is amazing. And so we should try to do everything that we can to support individuals to be entrepreneurial and build businesses that make a positive impact on our communities. And so one thing that sometimes stands in the way for small businesses is our permitting and licensing process, which can be pretty cumbersome, burdensome. We have amazing staff at City Hall, but sometimes it's a little complicated, especially for new businesses. And so this will be the second session that we're hosting, the feedback session for entrepreneurs who want to share some of their experiences with the permitting and licensing process and share some feedback so we can begin to make some improvements. That's going to happen on Tuesday, October 29th at City Seed's new building on James Street. So if you have any entrepreneurs or know any entrepreneurs, you are an entrepreneur yourself, you're welcome to come. We'll have refreshments and we'd love to hear your feedback. And I'll share with Adam and the team the link to RSVP for that. We also have a survey if you're not able to make it that you can fill out as well to share your experience. The last update I wanted to share was just to double down on Malachi's presentation about the I-91 neighborhood reconnection initiative. I'm incredibly passionate about this project. As many of you all might know, me and a few others and a large group of high school students have been taking one of the underpasses in Ward 9 and trying to transform that underpass behind the Ralph Walker hockey rink into a community park that reconnects East Rock and Fairhaven. And so we strongly encourage the city to apply to this grant, to take that kind of energy and extend it all around I-91. And I cannot commend the city team enough. Malachi was incredible to work with. Brandon, who's new in city plan, was an incredibly thoughtful team member. The Office of Policy Management and Grants, as well as SCROG, and then all of the alders who represent I-91. It was a real team effort over the last month and a half to get that grant across the finish line. I just can't commend the city staff enough. And I think the last point I'll make, and I think Lee made this point and Malachi made this point, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this grant is, as we all know, New Haven has been seen as the model city. It was the city that in the mid-1900s was deeply impacted by highway construction. I think as we all either remember or feel the effects of highways destroyed portions of neighborhoods, it also really divided neighborhoods. And this is, as Lee was saying, really the beginning of a conversation of how do we mitigate some of that harm? How do we improve traffic safety? How do we create spaces for reconnection in our neighborhoods? And really build a stronger community and also beget housing in and around the nearby area. So again, just want to commend the city team, and I'll pass it over to my colleague Alder Redente to share some updates.
I just want to point out, before you start that in between is Alder Festa, who has not come to a meeting and does not submit a report. Sarah Miller, 14, she did submit a report, but I think Abby may have intended to read it, but it will attach it, her report.
Okay.
And then, Frank, you're up.
I'm up.
All right, well, if you don't know me by now, you're in the wrong neighborhood. I am Frank Redenti, I'm the Alder for Ward 15. I will try to be as brief as possible. Just some updates on where some of the things I left you with last meeting. The park side of Clinton Avenue across from Carr's Package Store is now officially a no standing zone, though it's proving harder to police that. Traffic and parking is going back to the drawing boards to figure out how to attack it because it's more of a problem than we thought. One of the first days there, they ripped down the no standing sign. So they want to stand there and drink, and we don't want them to. So we're still working on the abandoned ordinance to try to change the time frame from 72 to 24 hours. That should be in committee this month. I recently worked with LCI on the discontinuation of the end of Peck Alley by Downing Street, which was a long standing eyesore. There's an old laundromat there that sits fenced, and it's just been just a roadblock to getting any real development there. So we discontinued that small section. And there's some interest in buying that corner lot to build affordable housing units. Nothing official. When we last met, I told you that we were going to meet with the mayor on the open air drug use that we were seeing. I want to thank the PD for their help with that, but also want to, if you haven't seen the announcement, Compass has expanded to include crises around homelessness, drug addiction, and mental health. So you can contact Compass right through the emergency numbers, whether non-emergency or emergency. No real update on the working group on smoke shops. It's a lot of stuff to get through. Some of those ordinances haven't been rewritten since the 60s. So they didn't envision New Haven like this. So we have a lot of work on our plate. And last but not least, we have a cleanup scheduled for Dover Beach Park in coordination with the Grand Avenue Special Services District and the Yale ROTC. That will be November 8th, time to be determined, but most likely 9 to 12. So November 8th, Dover Beach Park. Right now, it's just Grand Avenue Special Services District and Yale ROTC, but we have other partners interested. So I'll leave you with that.
Thank you very much. Jose Crespo, Ward 16, and he is not here, and to my knowledge, has not submitted a report. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's our agenda for tonight. Want to thank everyone for coming to the meeting. You'll find the link if you want to donate to the mural on the chat. It'll be in the minutes, and we'll make it available to everyone today that's here that wants it. And thank you very much for coming, and we will see you next month, first Thursday of next month at 6 p.m. here. Particularly if you're a member, please come and vote. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Good night, everyone. Good night. Oh, wait, I can call for adjournment. Sorry.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Okay, we're adjourned.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
I saw